magic works behind the shades. They will have their servant. They will steal his mind, and they will grant unto him what appears to be an unfathomable, terrible power. But no mind is left untwisted.
He loves the shades. Yes, he does. It is my precious.
What are you doing?
It's the Douglas! We hate the Douglas! He spits at us and says bad things about our mothers, precious!
Are you ready to talk about this?
Yeah, okay.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Drama Llamas. I'm Doug Urbanski, and this is Stephen Jeffries. Today we're shifting gears. We're shifting books from our usual Egri to 12 classic one-act plays. Specifically, the one-act play The Stronger by August Strindberg. And actually a play that we'll be viewing soon, I believe, this weekend at the Doudna Fine Arts Center. It's an interesting play. It's a small cast of a play. It's a 3-person play. And it's interesting because there's really only one person speaking. I mean, what did you think of that? I mean, I can see where some people might find it really boring, the fact that it's just one person talking the whole time about whatever it is she's talking about. To be fair, it just kind of happened so fast that I couldn't even really take anything in. I mean, Stephen, did you have the same problem? I mean, I know you're kind of a bit more receptive to things than I am sometimes, so I can see where the issue might be. I mean, it's just fascinating that of a cast of 3, and really the third character doesn't even matter that much, I don't think, the waitress. But Madame X, the married actress, and Mademoiselle Y, the unmarried actress. Well, Madame X is really the only one with most of the lines. I mean, do you think that works? Those are my scissors.
But no, it is interesting how it seems that a single character takes this 3-person play and runs it by herself. There are stage directions for Lady Y. There are times when she looks up puzzled. I'm not sure how you would look up ironically and curiously. I mean, I get curiously, but look up ironically. But she has things like that. It shows how she reacts, and the Madam X continues to build off of this. Yeah. Even the waiter is just sort of a background piece. I mean, what do you make of that? Considering what we've read in Egri, this is very, very odd.
I mean, there's almost a part of me that thinks it's almost entirely antithetical to what Egri's talked about. You know, because we get these characters. I mean, the relationship between the antagonist and the protagonist is supposed to be essentially a tug of war. Like, they are supposed to be of equal strength. And here, it almost doesn't feel that way because we've got this talkative woman,
the silent protagonist, Link
Mario, and yeah, bingo. And then we've got but then I mean, who do we qualify as the protagonist in this?
It's an interesting question, but remember Jeter Lester?
I do remember Jeter Lester.
I wonder if the protagonist... I would almost say the protagonist would have to be X, even though she seems to kind of be a butthead, because she is the one that's driving the story forward. Right. It seems like Y through her silence, she becomes a pivotal character. What Egri talked about earlier. And similarly to Jeter Lester, the fact that she sits there and does nothing but react with facial expressions fuels Madam X's fervor and her fire until she gets so excited that she storms out of the restaurant in a huff and says, I'm going to go home and love my husband. Thank you for telling me or teaching me how to love. There's this sort of evolution where we get the indication that perhaps it was in fact the silent Madame Y that the husband really fell in love with, and X is trying to become a mirror image of him, or her, rather. That would be kind of weird. So that's what I found intriguing.
I mean, this is just sort of a small thing, but I mean, when you were reading it, what did you imagine the ages of the respective characters?
I actually imagined them both in their, say, 40s.
Really?
Yeah, I imagined them equally as far as age goes. It's just married and unmarried. I mean, the one is carrying a Japanese basket, but really we don't get much of that.
Yeah.
So I assumed that they were peers.
I mean,
did you think something else?
It was weird because I found the Madame X. There was something that seemed a bit older about her.
Maybe it's because she was called the Madame.
That could be. I mean, just
Monsieur
the idea that
Urbanski.
she was married, and I don't know, like just some of the reactions that Mademoiselle Y has, like the whole like shrieking with laughter, just seems very. Yeah.
That's not really a shriek. That's kind of the opposite of a shriek. Airy chuckle.
I'm not really sure I'm ready for a shriek right now. So.
No, I don't want to shriek either. But it is kind of weird. The language too made me wonder, what the age of the characters was. And honestly, I didn't check when the play was published because some of the language reminds me of older works like you might read in like a Jane Austen novel where they talk about embroideries.
1912.
1912. Okay, that actually fits. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting. It seems that this play does sort of fit with what Egri's been talking about, but the way in which it takes these elements and puts them into the play is absolutely out in left field.
Yeah.
I mean, they're there, but the way he approaches this, or she, whichever gender the author may be, is completely untraditional, which was confusing and fascinating at the same time, honestly.
But I think ultimately we can see that it works. It's strange how it works, but it still works.
Like gravity.
And I'm looking.
Effing gravity. How does that work? I dropped your scissors, and now they may be broken because of gravity.
Those were nice scissors.
They were. Past tense, Doug. Past tense.
Well, enough with the grammar lesson. I'm looking forward to seeing this performed. I'm looking forward to seeing how how it's interpreted.
I'm really curious how the nonverbal cues will tie into things.
Yeah.
Because in a play that's one character, the other two characters have really got to be spot on. Unless it's a minimalist play. And yeah, like you, I'm really curious to see how this plays out. And I think watching this play all the way through, even though it's very short, will really help us get a grasp on, tying up these loose ends, these little confusing bits. So, I mean, that's really kind of all that I had. It's a very, very short play, so I'm having difficulties thinking of much else to talk about right now. I suppose we could do, like, the Pokemon theme song, or Dance a Jig, or, maybe sword fight with lasers and fish. I'm not sure how that would work.
Hey. Well, this is awkward.
What?
It appears that you've run out of mana.
What did that even mean?
Mana? MP? Magic?
You can't expect me to wear these for style. I mean, look at them. These look terrible. I can't even see where I'm going. I've been bumping into things all evening.
I didn't make the rules.
Oh, that is so lame. Why does an artifact of evil power need MP?
Well, there's really no green alternative.
I give up. Find someone else to enslave or something. It's not worth it.
You sure? We have dental.
I'm gonna go watch Willow.